In this episode of Marina Queen, I rewire the battery monitor's voltage sensing wires twice, only narrowly escaping much bigger problems. I also pay a visit to West Marine to get needed supplies for the upcoming trip to San Diego. And I confirm the length of Frog's Leap's jib sheets. I wonder why. My name is Rick. Join me as I refit sailing vessel Frog's Leap with an eye towards taking her to warmer places. I get to spend only a few days each month on the boat. That's why I call the channel Marina Queen. Getting ready to go back into the control panel. We had those voltage sensing wires that were cut, and so I ran the other voltage sensing wire, but I didn't have the screwdrivers to complete the job. Well, it's a good thing, because at that time I didn't realize that these sensing wires are supposed to be twisted. This green and this black one, they're supposed to be consistently twisted. It's a twisted pair because there's something about electrical crosstalk. Apparently, when a current goes through a conductor, it creates a magnetic field which can induce current in another conductor. And so we've got these two voltage sensing wires, and they are on the same path back to the meter, and they need to be accurate. They're measuring really small voltage changes. And so we have to take these out and we have to twist them all the way from the shunt to here and then reroute them to make sure that we're not getting anything that is extraneous to what this thing is supposed to be measuring. So let's just make sure this is going to work. Yeah, I think that's a perfect size. So I've got the wires removed from the bundle. Now I'm just going to take some of this electrician's tape, and every few inches, get the wrap on there, maybe one turn every inch or two. Sounds right to me. So there's the twisted pair now. Now I just need to route it to the switch panel. Well, welcome back to the land of the misfit toys. Oh yeah. Well, yesterday, I was putting in those voltage sensing wires for the link light battery monitor to the shunt. Man, you really have to be careful when you're doing electrical stuff. I was tired. I'd been doing stuff all day. And at one point last night, well, I'll show you. Yeah, so I was working on those voltage sensing wires that go right in here. You can tell they're not there anymore. Well, the reason was because I got sloppy, and at some point the wire fell right here. You can see the little black mark right there where it melted. What happened was it touched the metal right down here, which connects to the batteries, obviously, and it just burnt that. There's a little spot here, right? And you think, oh, that's not a big deal, but let me show you the real deal. This was one of the wires, and this was the wire that touched. And it just burnt all of the rubber right off. Look at this. This was all, up to this point right here, all had insulation around the wire. And it, within seconds, just cooked all of that insulation. Look at that. You can just imagine how hot that wire had to be to just cook it like that. Now this is some electrical tape, but if we come over here, one of the things that I think is interesting is they got so hot that not only did it cook the insulation around that black wire, the whole wire, the whole wire got hot, right? You can see it. There's not a bit of that black wire that didn't get cooked. And when it cooked, it melted and fused in places along the green wire. So like if I try to separate these, you'll hear like cracking as it rips apart. Yeah, you can see where it happens, like right here. Right there was one of the areas where that fused together just because of the heat. Pretty crazy. Well, you know, the door sits like this, and then when you open it, it pivots out like this, and then all of the connections are here or inside. Well, when it swings out like this, it puts additional pressure on the wires, and it pulled the wires out, and then the wire bounced into the terminal. So what you have to do is make sure that there's enough run in the wire to where it can handle the motion. That's the problem with the back of the link light. Those wires are only held in by these small little screws. A little bit of pressure, they'll pop out. Now you've got a Class Charlie fire in your boat. So it's a big problem, and I really spend a lot of time grooming in there. It's a good electrical system. It was just my oversight. You know, I should have realized there wasn't enough run in there to handle the repetitive opening and closing of the panel. So I'm thinking some kind of either terminal block or some kind of bus bar set up to where I can break those lines into pieces, to where there doesn't have to be this huge amount of slack in these wires in order to open and close things all the time. So anyway, lesson learned. I got to go to West Marine now. I'm going to get some more wire. Plus there's some other things I got to get before the trip. And really, you know, there's today, tomorrow, and then I fly home. And then when I come back, boom, the next day we're on our trip. So I can basically have a couple of days to buy stuff that I want to have on board. Because once you get underway, if you don't have it, you don't have it. Yeah. So I'm waiting for my Uber, and it's a short ride to West Marine, so not a lot of Uber drivers want to take this on. The guy comes all the way out to Point Richmond. I'm standing on the road. He drives by. I'm waving at him. He doesn't even see me. He cancels the ride, so I'm still here waiting for another Uber driver. You know, if you're not right there, they'll bolt. You're not gonna look that hard, you know. All right, well, I didn't get everything I wanted, but I got some sail ties, which we needed, some toilet paper. This is special toilet paper, Sailboat toilet paper. So hopefully we don't have toilet problems. We got a little manual bilge pump and a whole bunch of other stuff. We also got some more wire to get the voltage sensing from the shunt. So I'm going to wire that today, and hopefully the shunt survived that little blast of current. And if it did, then we'll be in good shape still. So disappointed myself. So I thought, all right, I'll go ahead and do it the right way with one continuous thing of wire, start afresh. So I did, but this time I went with yellow and green. I know all the purists are going to tell me that's not the way to do it. That's fine. Now what I'm going to do is basically the same thing I did before. Attach these while they're straight, and then wind them, and every 6 inches wrap them. It worked. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for watching yet another episode of Marina Queen. If you like what I'm doing, give me a thumbs up. If this video is hitting all the right notes, let me know in the comments. I want to hear from you. Tell me what you think. I'll see you next week on the boat. New episode every Sunday. I'm not as think as you confused I am.